This conference will now be recorded.
We're going to call the meeting to order. It is 5:30. Items of community interest. All the city offices and the library will be closed Monday, May the 30th, Memorial Day. There will be a Memorial Day celebration in the park at 10 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial. So anybody that would like to come out and see that, you're certainly welcome to do that. The Independence Day celebration there's gonna be fireworks, and Stephen, aren't we gonna have a parade, or do you remember? We're not gonna have the parade. Okay, so it's just the fireworks. That's gonna be Friday night, July the 1st in the community park. There is no time on here. Katrina, do you know what time? Dark, about 9:15. Okay, so that takes care of the community stuff. Discuss, consider, and act to approve the meeting minutes. Do we have any issues with the minutes, anyone? Kathleen, did you read through them? Yep. Okay. Has anybody else had a chance to look through them, or, okay, and there's no issues that you see? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last month, which would be April.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month, April.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, raise your hand, please. Okay, and it's unanimous. Kathleen wasn't here last time, so she has abstained. Okay, number 4, discuss, consider, and act regarding the financial statement for April 2022. Does anybody have any questions, or Thad, is there anything you want to highlight?
There is, primarily it's that you're at 138% of projections on sales tax. So again, you've already collected more than we thought we were going to get for the entire year. Sales tax remained very healthy. The question came during Type A. The staff is working on a 2030 forecast that'll take us out and show, when the construction begins to fall off related to all the subdivisions and everything going on, we would expect an impact on the sales tax if a lot of sales tax generating businesses have not come in during that time, so that you'll know when that's going to come ahead of time as far as the drop off. But sales taxes are very healthy right now. I noticed one error in this in the financials. The Hcedc Project 2025. Apparently, Marcy accidentally split the $50,000 that was supposed to come from Type A and put $25,000 in y'all's expenses. So if you would approve those with that correction, if you're inclined to do so, that will get moved to Type A, because that was not something y'all were splitting. That was supposed to just be Type A, because y'all did not make a motion to approve that. They did. So again, we'll deal with the rest of that in executive, but that would be the only correction that I see.
Okay, could I get a motion to accept the financial statement with the understanding the $25,000 correction will be made?
Randall, I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Do I need to clarify that any further, Katrina? Or are we okay with Randall's wording? Thank you.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Yeah. Any other discussion? That would be no. All in favor? Unanimous? Okay, let's move on to number 5. Discuss, consider, and act regarding properties and property management. Kathleen?
I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay. So we don't need to do anything else there. Discuss, consider an act regarding 100 Main Street property fence addition. Ed, you want to explain that?
This was an item that was brought up when there was a complaint filed by the Mr. Jim's, the property owner, not Mr. Jim's, the franchise owner of the business, but the property owner of Mr. Jim's between Haslett Feed. And the discussion was that this could be resolved by constructing a fence, a pipe fence between the two properties. The quote has come back at $2,500 to build. Hang on one second, let me find my specs. This one was kind of done on the fly. It is a rail fence. The posts would be 2 7/8 inches. It would be 36 inches above ground and 36 inches below ground in concrete. And the top rail again would also be 2 7/8 inches. The cost estimate for material and labor is $2,500. One item that has been discussed with the mayor and other staff is if the board is inclined to offer this to Miss Lee. She's getting ready to do the big remodel now that she's closed on the property. She's done some improvements, but it's been minor compared to what she's about to do, including, Haslett Feed, Annette Lee. They will add a kitchen and as well as other improvements. And one of the items she hopes to do is a wrought iron fence between her property and Mr. Jim's. So the question is to meet the expectation of a barrier between those two properties to resolve this complaint is would the board authorize the real estate committee to either contract for the fence at a cost of $2,500 or offer Miss Lee a rebate of that amount if her fence meets the same goal of separating those properties and would be nicer and more expensive, et cetera, instead of her having to pull that fence up that is put in by the EDC and then again, not what she wants for the property, the look. I'll answer questions. Again, this was something that almost held up closing. So we are bringing this to you after closing because it was about to be a serious issue.
So just to clarify, she's willing to build her fence and he's asking if we would be willing to just pay her after she has built her fence, the $2,500 that we were going to spend anyway. Is that a good clarification?
Yes, sir. Because again, to settle the disagreement, they were going to stop the closing and file complaints. We had to agree that we were going to put a fence of some kind between Haslett Feed and Mr. Jim's property.
And then the other part of this is we're going to allow the property committee to be in charge of this and just take care of it. That's Kathleen and John. So for the record. So I guess we need a motion. We need a motion to send this to the property committee with that understanding.
If the board is so inclined, yes, sir, that it would
Okay.
be, up to the property committee to decide what was the best option to create that separation between the two property owners.
Okay.
May I
Yeah.
ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so this was an issue that came up prior to us going to sell the property.
Well, actually during.
Okay, so why is the city expected to act on this if if the property was already agreed to be purchased and then it was purchased?
The concern was if we did not close that the deal would fall apart. So the discussion was to allow it to close. But otherwise it was going to be held up and stopped.
But I guess I don't understand why it's the city's responsibility to put a fence up.
Well, we could have put the fence up before as they wanted us to, but the agreement was that we would just follow up with it and take care of that.
The complaint was filed prior to closing, so it was still an EDC owned property. And so the discussion was, would the board be willing to fund that, knowing that, again, the complaint was filed while it was an EDC property against the tenant and the city as the owner. to correct this issue. It's apparently been something ongoing that I was unaware of for some time. So it didn't come up as a serious issue until after y'all had agreed to sell the property and it had been moving to closing. So again, it was a 11th hour issue that had been going on for apparently 3 or 4 years.
But it's to satisfy the complaint of the other
Yes.
business, not Hcedc.
Right.
Yeah.
It's to satisfy the complaint by the property owner of Mr. Jim's. And again, I want to clarify, the Mr. Jim's franchise owner is not the property owner.
Right. So would somebody be willing to make the motion that we will allow the property committee to handle this as they do all the other properties, even though it's a sold property, since it was, this issue came up before. And we'll let them deal with whether to put the pipe fence up or whether to pay her the 2,500 after she has put up her fence. Now, property committee, if we vote yes on this, she needs to understand she has a limited amount of time to do this, because this has to happen within a reasonable period of time. What did we decide, Dad?
The original at closing was 60 days, but again, and part of the reason you need a motion is the limit for the property committee is 1,000, Katrina, 1,200. Y'all had a cap that y'all placed
Right.
that you could do at any time. And so this would exceed that cap. So that's why you would need a motion to allow them to do up to the 2,500.
Right. So we need to make a motion that the property committee is allowed to spend $2,500 to assist or to build the dividing fence.
I would add to the motion that whichever is decided by property committee, it needs to be done within 60 days from today.
And the lady over there needs to understand that if she doesn't want our little pipe fence that we're going to do, then she needs to get with the program and get a contract and get it going. So someone want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that this decision and discussion be transferred to the property committee, where they can decide and act and go up to $2,500 within 60 days to satisfy the post-closing agreement.
Requirement. Yeah. Okay, good. Second?
Would you consider altering your motion to include what the purpose is of I didn't hear the word fence. Did I miss?
Yeah, I thought I said either her fence or our fence.
But the motion,
The motion, if you would add to fence to separate those two properties.
Okay, yeah.
I'm adding the fence to separate the two properties in the motion that I previously made.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Question, just so now, Miss Lee has already had an idea and has a price in mind for somebody to do. Yeah, right?
That is my understanding.
So therefore, we could let her, we need to tell her she's got 60 days to do. And then we would reimburse her for the
2,500. Her fence is going to cost more.
I'm not questioning that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we've got a motion.
One more question.
Okay.
60 days to build it or 60 days to be under contract?
It needs to be under contract, I would think.
The agreement was 60 days to construct, because this one's pretty easy. So that's up to the board. That is y'all's decision. But again, the expectation was within 60 days because it was just a pipe fence. So if y'all want to say 60 days to be under contract, then we will take that forward.
I think that's reasonable. I don't think Greg is going to whine
As
about
long
it.
as he knows there's a solution coming, that he'll be
I
fine.
think he'll be fine. He's reasonable.
Especially a solution that's not necessarily pipe fence. I mean,
Yeah, something that's much better.
it helps him
Yeah.
as well.
So, okay, so we've got a motion, we've got a second, all in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. All right. Discuss, consider an act regarding 201 FM 156 property and we need to approve resolution number XX-2022 authorizing the sale of the property located at that address and execute an agreement to, as allowed by law.
We would ask that this item be postponed until your following agenda. I talked to Ms. Kathleen about this property, and Malaysia is just now in touch with the title company, so there's some details that still need to be worked out on this item. And again, we'd ask that you postpone this one until your following meeting,
Okay.
where we believe we will have all the
So
details worked
if
out.
there's no objections, then we will postpone this until like June's meeting. Okay. All right. So number 8, updates on current EDC activities. Go ahead, Thad.
Let me plow through here. Hang on one second. On the Haslett Intermodal Commerce Park, this one's just an update. There's no change to anything. All the rights of way that were needed from that property were closed long ago. That property was 100% leased. That's 1.4 million square feet that was anticipated when we were working on the Haslett Parkway project. All 1.4 million square feet were leased without another incentive request. So again, the road acted as the catalyst, along with y'all's, very low rate, relative tax rate to everybody around. So again, we're just dealing with different owners, but all the property leases are going to be the same. So it's not an issue. I-35 frontage. If you actually read my comments there, apparently I wanted to make it clear about our opposition. So we clearly state the community's clear opposition to logistics. I probably needed to use the thesaurus on that one. But anyway, we continue to see a lot of interest in I-35 for logistics, and staff continues to make sure that we're not solving that problem. That's not what Haslett wants to see on its front door. The staff recommendation continues to be wait for Haslett Parkway to construct and open, wait for I-35 before you consider anything other than commercial sales tax operating, generating businesses. So we've seen some interest. It gets hot and then cold for something that would be, other commercial besides logistics, but with the roads so messed up right now, they're just not quite there. So again, we just want to make sure that everybody understands. You may see things show up. The property owners and people have rights to request logistics along there. It's just not the city's responsibility to approve those. So again, that you may still see those, but that's not staff generating those types of things. And I think those were the big items. We'll postpone my tie until next month, but I'll answer any questions you may have.
Does anyone have any questions about what he said?
That's not executive, because we do have an
Yeah,
executive session
we're going to have
tonight.
an executive session here in just a second. Okay, I don't see any questions on that. So number 9 now is the executive session. It is 5:49. We're going to close the regular meeting and we're going to move into executive session. Okay, we are going to reopen the regular session at 6:01. And we are going to, I will accept a motion on the items we discussed in executive session. You want to read that motion back, Katrina?
Motion to approve budget amendment as necessary to settle parcel 14 for the Haslett Parkway project. And then you can add the amount was 12,797.
Okay, does anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion as read by Katrina.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other question? All in favor? All right, everything, we have voted it, we voted it in, so that's taken care of. Let's see. Consider an act on any items from executive session. We just did that. Consider an act regarding items to be placed on the next agenda.
We will have the Mai Tai contract on the next agenda. And there may be other items related to Haslett Project 2025, but we don't know that yet.
Okay, well, that would be good if there was some of that stuff.
Can we request a confirmation that the item that we just approved went through and that everything was satisfied and complete?
I could send out an email once that, I mean, I'll notify,
I see
I'll
what
notify
you're
the
saying. Okay.
attorney first thing in the morning, and we believe that will probably settle out very quickly. So as soon as I have confirmation, I'll send that out.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. I was lost there for a
Is that
minute.
what you were looking for? Okay.
Yeah, that's what she's looking. I get it now. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
this will conclude our phase one right-of-way commitment.
This concludes
This-
everything.
everything.
This is the
Phase
last.
one, phase two, this is it.
This is it.
So-
All of the contractual agreements have been met. We have met all of nothing can happen to this road now. We have completed. So Thad has completed. So
So it would be really
I was
good to
one
hear.
part of it. Y'all did a
So-
lot.
So y'all be proud of this. This is a huge freaking deal. All right. Anything else? Thad, did you have anything else we need to put on the agenda for next time?
No, sir, not that I can think of.
Does anyone else have anything they want to consider before I shut this thing down? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.